welcome back to the PowerPlay Discussion Series. I'm Darren Peters, one of your hosts, joined by my co-host, Ceresia Nelson. And we have a really good episode coming for you today with someone I call a friend, a colleague, just a really good brother, Kurt Williamson. But let's let Ceresia. Let me flip it over to Ceresia and let her take it away. But you can bet you're going to enjoy this episode.
I know we say that every single time, don't we, Darren? But really, you're in for a treat, definitely today. Hi, everyone. Again, as Darren said, I'm Ceresia. Super excited about this PowerPlay series and our special guest today, Kurt Williamson. If we had like an applause, we would just be giving it up for you, Kurt. Thank you for joining us. How are you today?
Doing well. Thanks for having me. It's such
Great.
a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, well, we're ready to get into it. Are you ready?
Yeah,
we won't take you too fast.
Okay.
Okay. Well, Darren, since you really have a really great relationship with Kurt, I'm sorry. Why don't you just kick it off and ask the first question? I have a few up my sleeve.
Okay. Well, before I even get into the question, I want to, say thanks to Kurt, because when I was starting my business, the Peter Damon Group, and we knew we needed some technical assistance, some marketing material, Kurt and his team came down and filmed the video that you could see on our website. So just want to say thank you, for your efforts on that. And we've been growing ever since. So we can attribute some of that growth
to your video, Kurt.
Oh, man. Yeah. Thank you for letting us do that, because I remember, we were just starting our business, and we almost our car broke down on the way there.
Yeah.
And we had to get another one. But it was such a great thing to meet the team and see you all grow like this and be able to grow together with y'all.
That's awesome. Jared, I guess we should establish that Kurt he's many things. He's a creative talent. He is a storyteller. He's a filmmaker. He's an EP, executive producer. He's a director, and he's the co-founder and director of HollandWest Productions. Is that right, Kurt?
That's
right.
Productions.
So yeah, we've got an extraordinary, creative, brilliant mind with us today. And so we're just going to dig a little bit into his work, his background, and kind of some things that he's got now on his radar.
Yeah. And so, Kurt, you and I met, several years ago, doing some work on traveling around the country with Hillary Clinton during her presidential campaign. And, but I know that wasn't your first foray into videography and production. So why don't you tell us a little bit about how you kind of got started in this business up until, what you're doing now?
Yeah, I always was a fan of television, radio, television, and everything. And I remember in high school, radio TV was my favorite class. And I had this teacher, Mr. Tufty, and he would let us make TV shows, radio shows, and just put our spin on it and do whatever we wanted. And then after that, trying to figure out college, I was like, I think I want to be a newscaster or something. And so I ended up going to a school, Western Illinois University, and their broadcasting, it was a small school, but their broadcasting department was pretty strong. So I went there, worked on the news, produced the news, was a newscaster, did radio shows. I had 3 radio shows. I did everything other than real schoolwork.
Yeah.
But I knew what I wanted to do, so that's what I poured everything into. And and after that, I had there was this thing called Campus Invasion. And I was the concert promotion, chairman or whatever. And I brought down MTV to do these concerts in these little installations at the school. And I just begged them. I was like, hey, I think I'm that guy. I could be out there. I could be in New York, let me work at MTV. Next thing you know, I ended up interning there, working there for 9 years.
Wow.
And eventually, like, coming up with shows. I came up with a show called like Harlem Heights. And that was kind of like my launch pad into like entrepreneurism and like, if that's a word, sorry. And then making my own shows and stuff like that. And then started HollandWest Productions with my good buddy who used to work down the block from me.
That's so cool. We have that in common. That was my major in college as well, radio, TV, film, and I wanted to be a newscaster. So yeah, we kindred spirits here, Kurt.
Yeah.
Yes, that's pretty cool.
I see it.
So how did you? So again, with Darren prefacing about the political background, so how did you merge like that? Your work in creating TV shows and then combined with newscasting to kind of go into the political scene with your skills. How did that happen?
I always wanted to work with President Obama, and like that was a big deal. Like that was like a dream. I had no idea how to get into it. I knew there was like one agency that did some work with them, and they would only pay like $30,000 or something like that. And I was like, I don't know if I could do that. But there were some people who worked at MTV who were working with Obama and Hillary. Mm-hmm. And so I guess somebody found me out of that group. And the next thing you know, I started, a couple of people, Sierra and Lisa, they hit me up and said, hey, do you want to work on Hillary Clinton's campaign? I was like, heck yeah. And once again, the money was not good at all. You end up like going into debt because, I think there's some rule where they're not supposed to pay for your food and like some other things like that. So it was just like, we're going to all these cities. You got to eat good. I like to eat. So I spent all my money on food and suits because I never had a chance to be off the road and actually go shopping or anything like that. So I like, buy all these suits and like do dry cleaning in all these like fancy hotels and stuff like that. It was crazy.
And it's funny too, because, you go to all these cities and all these states and you could say you've been to these states, but you really can't remember much about it because you're just kind of in that motorcade going from place to place. And then you're out of there.
That's really cool, though. So in 2012, you founded with your partner, Warren Oliver. Is that right?
Yep.
Warren Oliver, you founded HollandWest Productions. Mm-hmm. So talk about kind of the genesis of the production company and then, what you guys moved into shortly after establishing.
Yeah. Like I was saying, me and Warren, we were like really good friends from, we had a mutual friend, our friend Chike Oza, who directed Genius with Cootie. It was just like a crew of us. All of us worked most of us worked at MTV. Warren worked across the way at HBO, which was like a few blocks away, and he would come after work and come hang with us like while we were like making other projects, some of our friends were working on Through the Wire and I was working on who knows what, like all types of different stuff because we'd had so many connections through all of the musicians and their managers that would come in. So me and Warren, we were very creative. He was like a creative director over at HBO. And we just said like, hey, like, let's go and do this like video about Indy car racer. And so we did a video about this Indy car racer. We spent our own money, went down to Kansas City and shot this like British guy. And we made this video and then we started showing it around to like, potential clients. Mm-hmm. And we didn't have a company at the time. And we said like, heck, why don't we just, join forces? We got this video that people like, and, we want to get into commercials. So next thing you know, we made our company. We started out doing some work for like Toyota and some things like that, starting out really, really small, just making ends meet, you know, especially in New York, which is a hard city to make it in. So, and then we just stuck with it. You know, we just kept sticking with it. Every year we grew. And that's how HollandWest Productions was started. And, you know, we're still a small team, but given all of the places that we've been, you know, as far as like the campaigns and stuff like that, meeting so many people who worked in media and stuff like that, we kept in touch with everybody. I kept in touch with anybody I met. And, you know, to this day, I work with a lot of the same team members that I met all over the country, even on those small, like, short stops.
That's one of the keys to success. I tell you, Darren is really good about that. He doesn't forget anybody that he works with, especially if they're talented. And that's how you build your team and eventually build your network, and you build, you know, you can build out from there. So
Yeah,
I think that's very instructive for our audience to know. A good tip.
Now, let me ask you something, Kurt. So, you know, I mean, we talked about the production, how you start your business, but you run across in your work a number of, you know, celebrities, athletes, things like that. Tell us what that's like to actually work with them, have to be a professional, but still probably in awe because you're in front of some celebrity that you look up to.
So, you know, are you fanboying out? Just tell us the truth, because I would be fangirling sometimes. Mary J. Blige, I'm total fangirl. So
Mary's nice. I've definitely I think my biggest fanboy moment was meeting Michael Jackson.
Oh my gosh!
And I met him on September 10th, 2001. Right?
Not that you remember it very well.
I remember every moment. I remember everything. But seeing seeing him, you know, like we have the same birthday. He's my idol, you know. So that was a crazy moment. I remember back then they didn't have like digital cameras, so I had my little Polaroid. Even though I had my video camera and everything, I was supposed to be shooting and all this stuff. I had my Polaroid. I was snapping away. It was like, man. But meeting him, like, people like that, as far as like celebrities, there was this thing where at MTV where you couldn't, like, they told you couldn't like really engage with celebrities or something like that, or bother them or ask them for autographs and stuff like that. So, you know, it kind of was like something stuck in my mind, because I'm like, hey, if I mess up, you know, I cross the line, I might get fired.
Yeah.
So, you know, from me being 21 years old working at MTV, like, I knew, like, you know, I'm not going to cross that line unless they start talking to me about something else. Then I'll start talking to them. But otherwise, like, you just treat them as, you know, professionals, and, you know, don't go too crazy. I'll be like, hey, I love your music. You know, that's about as far as I go. Or I love your work or something like that. But, you know, but a lot of people, when you get that professional, you know, thing going on, when you're not fanning out, that's when they start talking to you like you're like on their level or something like that. Yeah. So like I would have conversations with, like, you know, Brandy or Serena Williams and stuff like that, like people who I was like, you know, I don't even know why you even looking my way. But it was kind of cool to do that. And so, like, coming into politics, you know, it was kind of like the same thing, because I looked at Hillary Clinton like a rock star, Barack Obama like a rock star. But, you know, at the end of the day, you got to work, you got to get paid, you know, you got to keep it professional. And they're just people. They're extraordinary people, but they're just people.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna put you on the spot here, because I think it was one day where you really weren't working, and that was that time you photobombed me at my moment when I was meeting, you know, Mr. Jay-Z. So I'm showing everybody. Y'all see, that's where is it? Can you see?
It's a little dark, but I think we can make out Kurt.
That's Kurt right there.
Right here.
I'm looking like your bodyguard. I'm looking like your Secret Service agent in the back, you know, just making sure it's safe.
Yeah. Well, clearly, Kurt, he's still feeling some kind of way about it.
Now, I actually like it. That's kind of, you know, I didn't even notice it until I think, Kurt, you mentioned that that you were photobombed. I guess I was just so focused on, okay, this is me and Jay-Z. I didn't even see what was behind me. Sorry.
Now another
No
photo,
disrespect.
another photo. I don't know if you got that one. Was the one they took of us on the plane. That was so hilarious when Hillary Clinton was talking about you and your start in politics and everything with her, and then Barbara Kinney came out and took a photo of us, and I was like, "Is she talking to us for this photo?" Like I didn't know what was going on.
Did you get photo ready though?
Miss Clinton, she said, "Stand up, Kurt. You know, come over here and talk to us." I was just like, "Okay."
That's
But
good.
that was really cool.
That's pretty cool. Is there anyone that you have on your radar to work with, particularly through the company or in any future endeavors? Anybody you're excited about, looking forward to, dream, bucket list, got to work with?
Bucket list. I really like working with When We All Vote. You know, working with Michelle's team. All of those people are amazing.
Yeah.
Such a dynamic group. From Kyle to Stephanie, there's just some really great people on that team, and you know they're gonna go far no matter what they do. And you know, Mrs. Obama, she's great too. So I always like working with that team. I look forward to doing some more with them as things kind of heat up in you know, the election space. Um, Actually, somebody you got in the background, I want to work with him one day, Pharrell.
Ooh,
Yeah, so
that would be nice. That
I
would
want
be
to do some type of work with him, and I think that's it. You know, until like Jesus comes back or something. I want, you know.
Well, I love it. I love it. Tell you what, there's a production, one of the greatest productions of your life, I think you've had recently, you know, in the last year or so, and that is becoming a dad.
Yes.
Yeah. So talk to us a little bit about that experience. I bet that there's great video of that. I bet there's a story. He's lucky. He's such a lucky little boy. He's gonna have his whole life kind of documented a bit by his
I
dad.
know I got to do a better job at that, so I can't even front. I know there's one thing, like I lived so long with the camera in my hand, and maybe two cameras in my hand or something like that. And I used to travel around, and you know, sometimes I would think like I'm not even taking in the moments. And so I started putting the camera down and like just really being there and being present. And I think I've been too present with my son, and I haven't taken enough video of him. So, and I know every parent says like, take as many videos as you can, take as many pictures. So, you know, I did buy a new camera that, you know, I want to take some like great special pictures. I've been starting to do some stuff with them, but I think being present is even, you know, I'm never going to forget that face. I'm never going to forget his laugh. I'm never going to forget anything about him. So, but it's always good to have those reminders. So I'll still, I'm trying to get better at taking more pictures and videos of them.
Yeah, definitely. I understand. It's really good that you're in the moment, but I'm telling you, it goes so fast.
I
It
know.
goes so quickly. So you'll appreciate having those mementos of him as a small guy, believing every word you say and thinking you're, you know, superhero. Because there'll be a time, there's gonna come a day where he'll be looking at you like, really, really, Pop?
Right.
And your son will appreciate it too when he gets older, you know, because he probably won't remember a lot of this, you know.
I know.
Yeah. Okay, so I got to ask you a question. So now that I know your background with MTV, tell me about this reboot with MTV Raps.
Oh yeah, Yo MTV Raps. That's a dream to work on. Like I grew up watching Yo MTV Raps. I'd come home after school and watch it and like blast it. I would videotape it on VHS and everything. So getting like I had, you know, coming from MTV, working there, you know, from as an intern, the PA, the segment producer, the producer, and this and that, like all different types of roles. You know, having the role of being, you know, executive producer, the production company behind it, and a director on it, it was just like whoa, that was
Like a
nuts.
full circle moment.
Yeah, so full circle, and working with some of the same people, I came up with. Actually, the executive in charge over there, she was a person I interned for. I interned for her back in the day. So like, as soon as I came on, it was just like, it's on, it's family. And being able to have a lot of creative control, and for people to trust us to do this, because it's actually the biggest show we've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
So biggest budget, biggest show, biggest stage, more cameras than we ever worked with, and for them to trust us with that, and for us to like be able to deliver, it's just amazing. Like I was just watching like an episode the other day, even though I've seen all these episodes a million times, uh, I was still like, taken back by it. I was like, man, we really got to do that. So hopefully we get another season. So wishing on the star for that, but there's other things going on too. So yeah, that was amazing because I'm like a real hip hop, nerd.
Yeah.
And then to be able to do some kind of throwbacks and like, toss to some things that were like older and things like that, but be in this new generation and learn about new rappers and new artists and dancers and things like that. That was just so cool because it's just like it was like being a teenager all over again.
Yeah.
It's like reading the Source magazine and Double XL and Vibe, and like I was like living it.
Mm-hmm.
Because these were like all new people to me. So there and just to know like this generation, a lot of people have like a lot of weird stuff, some negative stuff to say about this generation. But I think this generation is much more exciting because they have so much more access to things, because of the internet and social media and things like that. You can make a whole career on social media. But every artist that we interviewed, was so compelling because they had so many different hustles going on.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, oh, I got a cannabis business and I got a fashion line and I got a record label and this and that. And then, yeah, there was one guy, he blew my mind. He was from the Baltimore, Maryland area, and his name was IDK. And he's from London, moved when he was 2 to Baltimore or something like that. Ended up getting in a lot of trouble, went to jail, got out of jail, started talking about prison reform and taught a class at Harvard. Everything is independent. He turned down a rap career. He turned down to be on Kanye's label, and he's just like got a Maybach and works with Kanye. He's got like all types of deals going on, and still teaching. And so I was just like, these kids are all right. These kids are great.
Yeah. Talk about entrepreneurial. This generation is very entrepreneurial and very much bet on themselves. And I appreciate and enjoy that too, Kurt.
Yeah, me
Just
too.
like you. We bet on you, Kurt.
Oh, thanks. I'm an old dog up in here now.
Oh my gosh, no, you're not. You're just getting started, and we're excited to look forward to all the things that you have up your sleeves and what's to come. So there's one question that we ask of all of our guests, and we want to know, because you're such an esteemed power player now, if there was one power play that you could execute, enact in the world, something that would change the world for the better. It could be in your field, it could be anything. What would be your one power play that would have an impact on the world as we know it?
Man, you stumped me with this. There's so much I want to do.
Come on, storyteller.
But I do want to. I don't know how to do it, but the things that are like going on with Greenwood and stuff like that, I do want to find ways to tell people and expose them to like just making generational wealth for our people, for Black people. I think that's a really important thing. I'm seeing how like the area I live in now in View Park is changing up so much, and
He's in LA, folks. He's in LA. So
yeah,
yeah.
I'm in LA, so I'm in a black neighborhood, which is, this neighborhood is it's kind of like what Potomac or something like that in DC or whatever. But all of these people, it was a black neighborhood and is very well to do and stuff like that. And but a lot of people are like leaving their house and they're selling to mostly people who have money, who have generational wealth, who are not our color usually.
Yeah.
So I just want to find a way to instill in people like owning things are like a big thing. Owning your own company,
Absolutely.
owning your land, owning your car, whatever, just owning it. And because that is something you can pass down, something that people can't take away from you, and something that kind of builds pride. So I don't know what kind of program that is. I knew one thing: if we would have got in the White House back in the day, I would have totally flipped my whole career, and I would have done something kind of like what I'm talking about, like just some type of development for like African Americans. I probably,
you still can do that. You just talked about that rapper that does all these different things. That one thing doesn't limit you from or keep you from doing.
I like it. Kurt Williamson,
do it.
Peter Damon Group, we can work with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. That was one thing I was like, man, if we get up in there, I'm gonna do this video stuff for like 1 year, and I'm gonna flip it, and I'm gonna try to change some things. So yeah, I still got it in me, but I don't know how that's gonna manifest, but we'll see.
We'll figure it out. Yeah, we'll see. Again, we bet on you, Kurt. We bet on you. So how can we keep up with you on social media and the interwebs out here with HollandWest Productions? We want to make sure we check out the second season of Yo MTV Raps, all of that. So tell us where on the internet we can reach you, where we can keep up with you.
Yeah, I go by Kurt Work, KurtWurk. So that's at Kurt Work. The company page is HollandWest Productions. There's HollandWestProductions.com. There's at HollandWest Productions. Warren Oliver, he goes by Warren O on Instagram. That's my business partner, and that's how you can keep up with us. We're out here, and the show is on Paramount Plus. Okay. Yo MTV Raps. You can see all eight episodes there. 20-something minutes each, and yeah, and just keep up with us on our page because we're always updating it, and we're always working on something cool.
That's awesome.
All right. Great. Let's see. I said we were going to have a great show. I told you Kurt was a cool brother, cool as a fan, as they say. But we really appreciate you joining us on this episode, Kurt. Cericia, another great job, helping me co-host. And we look forward to seeing everybody on the next episode of the PowerPlay discussion. Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless y'all.
Bye.
Amazing. Bye.